Happy New Year.
Merry New Year, the Mood Booster family.
2026.
Welcome to the Mood Booster podcast.
This is so exciting. We're starting the new year, 2026, on a strong one. We're actually just
100%.
talking about setting New Year's goals and how we can find the most joy in 2026, right?
Episode 42 indeed, how to accomplish your New Year goals. Really, we're just reflecting on finding joy this New Year.
Indeed, we are. We're breaking down, well, firstly, why we actually have New Year's goals, what the Christmas come down might look like for us, and what New Year looks like. Acknowledging, firstly, like it can be difficult and that's okay, but also we're here to find the joy in that and to find joy in the everyday, and not debunking or saying we shouldn't have New Year's goals and New Year's resolutions, but potentially how we can be smarter with them.
Ever heard of the New Year, New Me? Well, we go exactly into it. And how to, as you said, be smarter with this to actually achieve your goals. There was a very interesting stat in there as well about how to not be the small percentage of people, or how to be in the small percentage of people that actually see their New Year goals through.
There we go. Got there.
Got there in the end.
Got there. So we give you actual tangible advice, as always, on how to set smart goals,
100%.
Ways to frame your goals so they're more in line with looking to add things to your life as opposed to take things away, but really just finding joy in those micro wins, so and letting the bigger goals look after themselves.
If there's a version of yourself that you want to be, we break down exactly how you can become that person. It might not be how you think, but it's a very interesting way that we take you through as well. It's also a lovely episode.
Yeah, it is. It's a lovely way to start the new year. Happy New Year again from us.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, enjoy the episode.
Let's go.
Let's do it. In this podcast, we share evidence-based advice, tools, and tips to help you boost your mood, improve your well-being, and find joy in your everyday.
Exactly. We talk about life's highs, lows, and everything in between, with real stories and reflections from our own journeys as well.
With pillars rooted in introspection, presence, and community, this is the home of well-being and joy.
Welcome home.
Welcome in.
Let's go.
Today's episode is sponsored by Breezy, a new AI therapy app created by London founder Becky, designed to help you feel understood and make real progress between therapy sessions.
Breezy doesn't try to replace a therapist. Instead, it actually gives you a safe space to talk things through, spot patterns, and get personalized steps you can use in your day-to-day life.
The app remembers what works for you, gives you tasks to try throughout the week, and integrates with your human therapy sessions to help you stay on track.
Built with mental health professionals and currently working with universities towards research and clinical trials, you can also opt in to shape the future of this AI mental health tool.
Use code MOODBOOSTER for 50% off an entire year subscription after a free trial. Just search Talk to Breezy with an I in the App Store today.
Hello, everyone.
Buongiorno.
Welcome to the Mood Booster podcast.
Welcome to 2026.
Merry New Year, everyone.
Merry Feliz New Year. Sorry.
Feliz New Year. We've made it El Año Nuevo.
Crazy.
Welcome. Episode 42.
Episode 42.
42. Exactly. Unreal. We've all made it to the new year.
Happy New Year, guys. I know I
Great
just
to
said
have you
it, but
here.
that's so cool.
Happy New Year.
The first top of the year, first episode. How are we feeling?
Cleansed for the New Year's episode.
I'm feeling bloated. I don't know about you.
Bloated?
Yeah.
What's going on?
In a good way. Christmas.
How are you in a good way?
Yeah. Not a single bad thing about this next statement, but I have eaten an obscene amount of food over Christmas.
My guy.
And yeah, I'm feeling good about it.
Hibernation.
So, feeling bloated.
Hibernation.
Exactly.
It's constantly bloated.
Exactly.
Good stuff. Well, welcome to this episode. Very, very excited for our first episode of 2026. We are speaking on how to accomplish your New Year's goals, reflecting on finding joy this new year.
It's a good one. It's a very important one. Topical, as always, but
of course.
Yeah, something we have a lot to talk about, and we are excited to do so. But first, oh my God, that's the first time that's happened to me. Karma.
We are setting New Year's goals.
That was karma.
Can we can't replay that on the episode, can we?
Sorry, I just
That was
So
nuts.
basically, you know, when
welcome
friends-
to 2026,
When friends
everyone.
spend so much time together, they start adopting each other's mannerisms.
Is that what you're going
That's
with?
what I'm
Is that what
doing.
you're going
Yeah,
with?
yeah, yeah.
Unreal. That's what you're going with.
That's what's happening here.
Joke. What a joke.
What a
Can't
jarika.
believe you're going with that. That was a mannerism that you're adopting.
I am, yeah.
Guys, you have just witnessed the first ever voice break from Dr. Marcus Bull.
It's so habitual for you.
Cherish it.
We don't note it anymore because it just
My
happens
voice
so
is
often.
constantly in this deep tone, in this
Very
deep dulcet tone.
Interesting take.
Yeah, in this deep tone here.
Interesting take. So you have a very nice idea to start off the top of the episode, because obviously wherever you are, this is the 5th of January. Can be quite a gloomy day for some, can be back to work, all of the come down of the festivities, all of those kinds of things, dark weather, all of the above. We are here to boost moods. We are, after all, the home of Wellbeing and joy.
We are.
Charlie had a great idea. Do you want to take it away?
Indeed. I think we want to start this new year, especially this week, with a bit of joy, bring you some joy, looking back quickly on last year, some highlights and some wins that we saw across the globe, so that we can enter this week full of joy and full of meaning, knowing that there is a light ahead. Okay, so we've got some good news quickly that Dr. Marcus and I will go over of what things happened last year that were very good in the world. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, the pressure's on. I've been told I've got to quick fire read this, and my quick fire reading when I have to go quickly is very
Just
questionable.
read the words, big boy.
Let's go.
Okay.
Historic Global Ocean Treaty passed to protect the high seas from 2026.
Very good. Nations agreed to raise $200 billion a year to protect global biodiversity.
Multiple species were pulled back from the brink of extinction through conservation success.
That's a good one. Global deforestation slowed across every region of the world over the last decade.
Vast new wildlife and marine sanctuaries were created across 5 continents.
You can read it slowly, my guy. Okay.
We've got a lot to get through.
Wind and solar power overtook coal as the world's biggest electricity source.
A coalition of countries launched a joint plan to phase out fossil fuels.
That's cool. The world's top court opened the door for nations to be held legally accountable for emissions, which is huge.
China recorded a drop in emissions despite nearing its peak pollution levels.
Let's go China. That's huge. Also, Denmark set one of the world's most ambitious climate targets and is on track to meet it.
Norway moved close to becoming the first all-electric car market.
This one's really exciting. Gene therapies successfully treated conditions once thought untreatable. So, for instance, they've helped people born with genetic hearing loss to recover some of their hearing. Then, in October of last year, it was actually revealed that blind people were able to read again thanks to a revolutionary eye implant.
New medical treatments dramatically improved outcomes for cancer and genetic diseases.
Scientists have also declared a golden age of cancer treatment after survival rates have doubled.
Faster diagnostic tests improve early detection of cancer and neurological diseases.
Uganda have contained an Ebola outbreak in under 3 months through rapid action, which is new for them.
Global deaths from chronic diseases continue to fall in most countries.
Unreal. Researchers also showed older generations are healthier than ever, redefining what aging looks like.
A Gaza ceasefire and hostage deal brought fragile but meaningful hope.
That's a good one. The global smartphone-free childhood movement has gathered momentum. Big up Australia.
Several countries made major advances in human rights and legal protections. For example, Liechtenstein and Liechtenstein and Thailand. I'm trying to read it fast.
You can read it whatever pace, my guy. This is great news we should be in.
Liechtenstein and Thailand both legalized same-sex marriage. The latter became the first country in Southeast Asia to do so, a milestone celebrated with a mass wedding.
It's very good. I think the lecture review's coming out, isn't it? Trying to explain and ponder each point. It's great to see. Social protection programs lifted millions of people out of poverty worldwide. So around 13 million Mexicans have been lifted out of poverty.
Violent crime rates fell sharply in the US and several other countries. For example, US murder rates were down by almost 20% so far in 2025, while violent crime has fallen by nearly 11%.
Unreal. Ireland has made its basic income scheme for artists permanent.
And last but not least, cities around the world became cleaner, safer, and more livable for residents. For example, Paris is safer after the river Seine reopened to swimmers for the first time since 1923. And in September, bathers returned to rejuvenated Chicago River for the first time in 98 years.
That's huge. So whilst it's been a lot of doom and gloom, there's been a lot of good stuff. Well done. You almost did that. That was great.
That was really difficult.
What did you find difficult about it?
Well, I was told at the beginning we got to rapid fire it, and then halfway it's like, no, it's fine. We just take whatever time we need, and I'm just there like, I can't read any of this. But it's great news. All of the above is great news.
Yeah, outread by the dyslexic kid.
So, yeah, I was one of those kids in school when I used to get like nervous to read. We'd have to do reading around the class, and I'd like read my paragraph the whole time, just over and over again, not hearing what anyone else was reading out, because reading out loud is a difficult.
You find it difficult, yeah. Fair enough. Well, that's some great news. That has been a lot of the good news from 2025, and I think we're going to carry it on in 2026, boosting moods and finding joy as well.
Yeah, some great news for everyone there. So, great way to start the top of the episode.
Thank you. I feel a bit lighter now.
Yeah, well, I think it's nice to reflect on the good things and to see the joy in what was a very difficult year, but there are good things that have come from it. So.
That's exactly it. We're made to think, and it was a difficult year for a lot of people, but there's also a lot of good as well. So focusing our efforts on that is often quite nice.
I also find this time of year to be difficult for most people psychologically. Pendulum of emotions, pendulum of just everything going on in our brain. We've come out of a very sort of stimulating, exciting, celebratory time being Christmas and the holidays, and then you're straight back to kind of a big drop. And when our brains go through emotions anyway, we have cycles, or like a pendulum. So if you're really high one here, you've got to kind of come back to that equilibrium and reach that. So then you kind of have a low in the opposite direction. But also after Christmas, it is just a general sort of abyss of, oh, we've just got January. It can be kind of, we've had all of these amazing celebrations, seeing all of these people, and now January's here and there's nothing to do. It's dark. I've just got work. And it can be difficult for people. Yeah. And it makes sense that this is a time of year that can be sort of, arguably, potentially a marketing ploy, but Blue Monday... there is still some reality in that.
19th of January?
I think it's like the third Monday of January.
Yeah.
Blue Monday, for anyone that doesn't know, is, like I say, is people skeptic. I'm not 100% sure the origin of it. It said people believe it to be sort of something that was, it came around from sort of a marketing ploy to get people to get into gyms and to get people to buy things to make them feel happier. But Blue Mondays, the idea is that on the 3rd January of the year,
the third week of January.
The third Monday of the year in January is the lowest well-being and mental health seen across sort of the population.
It's the hardest day.
Hardest day for everyone.
Typically.
And like I say, there is some validity to that, I would say, regardless of where 100%. It came from. Because, January is a difficult month. And it is, I don't know, do you find it difficult?
100%. 100% I find it hard. I mean, this is just speaking quite literally. The weather is never great in January. December sort of mixed in, or it sort of was mixed in with a bit of blue skies here. And when it's grey, you still can lean into the festivities of, December. You can lean into the cold element, I feel like, because it's the Christmas run-up. Whereas in January, it's, as you mentioned, it's sort of a bit of a abyss from nothing there. And so when it is grey or when it's rainy, at least I feel like still a few months out from anything sunny as well. So weather-wise, speaking on that front, no pun intended, it can be quite difficult to sort of, weather it, no pun intended. All these puns flying about.
Double pun day.
Double pun day, there we go. So overall, weather-wise at least, I do find January very, very difficult. And also, as you mentioned there, just coming off the back of a very intense, happy, joyful month with family, with friends, very intense and busy plans almost every day of the week, running up to Christmas as well. January, it's often just sort of left alone and sort of work as well. I know a lot of my friends are going away this time of year, whether it's like Australia. A lot of people from the Run Club I've been speaking to are going away on sabbaticals even now, going away for like 3 months to Southeast Asia. So a lot of people are actually gone as well. So it can also be quite a lonely time as well. I feel like January. That's if you're not going away. I think I find January is typically quite difficult, if I'm being completely honest. I think previous years I've tried to probably book things in. And so for this year, with sort of nothing majorly booked in, I mean, we've got something huge now. we've got our first live talk in 2 weeks.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. In 2 weeks' time, we've got our first live talk, 14th of January. All the information's on our Instagram if you do want to see it. That's what I'm very much looking forward to. That's going to be like a nice bridge between the beginning and end of January.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think overall I found January quite difficult, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to have to very much lean into the small moments.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel I have to go prepped into the month. How about you? Do you know what I mean?
No.
Well, prepped is in like knowing it's going to be quite tough.
Oh, yeah.
Expecting the sort of hardships and then say, okay, find joy in this moment, find joy in that moment, instead of sort of seeing it for the more holistic thing it is, which I feel like you can do in summertime.
Yeah, no, I think same. I think historically I think it's a secret to no one. I really enjoy like the festive Christmas period.
Yep.
And have done. So I think I'd always historically found it quite difficult coming out of that, and I'd always be like, "Oh, New Year's just always a bit of a anticlimactic, a bit of a, like I said before, like a come down, because I just felt like it was a come down after like a big high." And as such, I think previously I had put myself in a position of like, okay, we'll focus on, this big thing, or focus on this big New Year's resolution, or this is years back, focus on getting to the gym or starting, this was a very long time ago, but like starting running or whatever, as a way of sort of, distracting myself from that come down, I would say. And I know that that's, again, psychologically speaking, that's something that why New Year's resolutions are so huge. We attach a change in ourselves to an arbitrary day in the calendar year, aka the 1st of January, because arguably there's a bit of a void of other things going on at that time, aka, like we've just said, the come down of no sort of socialization and celebrations and things, and it's difficult to go through that. So therefore, let me give myself a distraction of, this is my time to make myself the best version of myself and completely overhaul my life and really like lock in and focus on this. And that's therefore the distraction now, because I've not got a holiday coming up. I've not got, Christmas coming up. I've not got my birthday coming up, whatever it is. So that is, psychologically speaking, why New Year's resolutions are so sort of prevalent. But for me personally speaking, yeah, I definitely relate to that. I think I used to be someone who, built Christmas up so much. And I'd spoke about this in a couple of episodes ago about how I used to build Christmas up so much. And then I'd get there and be like, oh, okay. And then it would be done. And I'd be like, oh. And then the next year I'd look back at the previous Christmas and be like, oh, that was amazing. Which is why a whole shift in myself over the last few years have been to more just enjoying the moment and finding...
Did you find that for this Christmas, can I ask?
Finding what?
The actual sort of build-up was better than the actual day or event of Christmas?
No, actually, in different ways I enjoyed Christmas in different ways. The build up to the day itself, to the Boxing Day, because of how I've been like mentally like reshifted it all. Yeah. It's not like this one big day I'd sort of really looked forward to. So therefore, because I hadn't sort of put it on this pedestal and I was just enjoying the month as it was, and Christmas Day was like a bonus, I guess. I did just enjoy it, and I wasn't sort of like, oh my god, this is going to be the best roast dinner I've ever had. And because I wasn't sort of building up like that, it was a delicious roast dinner, and it was sublime. And it was, we didn't do so many presents, which was sort of actually a nice thing. It was more just chill and relaxed, and it was just a nice sort of time to just be at home. So no, I wouldn't say that was the case this year. But yeah, I think what I was saying is that finding the joy in the small things allows me to not sort of, if I'm practicing that, I don't sort of have this huge come down afterwards, because I've just been a lot more sort of baseline grounded in, okay, well, these are daily wins, and this is a lovely day here on the 17th of December where I'm going to do this random activity, and I could also do this in January as well, and there's nothing to stop me from doing that.
Here's a question for you. Do you think, because often January just in itself can be quite a bleak month, as I mentioned, or reasons we've mentioned, lack of sort of, community movement, probably because it's quite cold, just the weather in general. Do you think that having quite high flying goals or resolutions, sure, they might burn out quicker, sure, you might drop them quicker than if you had sort of more attainable, more reasonable goals, can actually help see you through quite hard months? So you're like, for instance, I'm going to learn this instrument, I'm going to do this, I want to cut out that, for instance. These are all things that we're going to speak on going forwards. But do you think having these big goals actually carry you through what is quite a hard month? I.e. keeping busy or,
Yeah, I think they
keeping your brain
can.
going.
But let me zoom out a bit further. I didn't fully know the answer to the question, but what my immediate knee-jerk reaction is actually they can, but then they're a pacifier as opposed to they're pacifying a bigger problem of us like needing something like a distraction or needing something to get us through something. And I don't.
That's a great point.
I'm not saying I'm perfect and I'm here, like I'm still trying this every day myself, but I don't want to be someone who is trying to get through a month or get through a life. Like I don't want to have to need things to get me through. Don't get me wrong, we all have hard parts of our lives, and we all go through things that we just, God's sake, we just need to get through it, and like that's all we can do, and that's that's an achievement in itself. But generally as a baseline, like I try to not live a life where I'm needing to just get through something, so to have this big grandiose goal that's a distraction for me to just get through a bleak month, and that's where I come from.
It's a great point. It's a great point.
I'm like I say, I'm not fully there. Like I'm someone who, don't get me wrong, I'm not overly, like being honest, not overly looking forward to January, in a sense of like.
We both said though that last year's January was our best January. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Building the podcast, training for the marathon, like there's a lot of joy that I thought last January was unreal. Yeah. I remember saying to you on the way back from, I think it was London Fields. I was like, this January's been brilliant. Yeah. But I remember, So it's
exactly. That's how we'd made it.
That's it, isn't it? Yeah.
We were very lucky. Like I went on one of the best holidays personally for me I'd ever been on in my life. To Inverness in Scotland, which was incredible. We like you said, we started this whole venture. Like it was a very busy month in that sense, and that's why. Yeah, I think we were fortunate in that. Speaking for myself, it was the beginning of like finding a passion and nurturing that passion.
100%.
Which was why that month was super exciting, and therefore it will hopefully continue to be, as you say, with like our first talk coming up, which is really exciting, and those sorts of things. But like as a baseline, we all have to meet a baseline, right? And
of course,
we can't live on a high of like that. January, I think, was a huge high. Yeah. And speaking with the listener as well, like we can't all live on that huge high all the time.
Of course not.
So I would love to have that January every year. Because like I said, that was not only one of the best Januaries, it was arguably one of the best months of, I don't know, maybe my life, I don't know.
No, 100%. But I think to that point, I think there's maybe nothing wrong. We were very much in the midst of, building something from absolutely nothing, the excitement of all of it as well, just planning and, alongside the trip in Scotland as well was unreal, and it led to a very exciting January. I think, of course, not relying on something big to get you through a month is absolutely fine. I think you shouldn't put that. Yeah. However, I think it's absolutely fine to be prudent to the fact that January can be hard, and then saying, okay, maybe middle or end of January. What's up?
Prudent to the fact.
Prudent. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make sense. Privy to the fact.
Starting the new year strong.
Oh, God. I'm going to start learning words for my January. How's that? Privy to the fact, sorry. Prudent, privy.
I was like, do I pick up on it or do I just let it
go?
No,
thank you for picking up on it, because I'm wrong.
Okay, spoiler, we haven't got here yet, but my New Year's resolution is to pick up every time you say an idiom wrong.
Yeah, like everyone else. How's that? Let me have my idioms. Is there idioms or analogies? Idioms.
Idioms are just like your own...
A saying.
Yeah.
Idioms is right. What's I even saying? Privy to the idea.
It's privy to pick up on the idea
that January can be tough, and then thus setting yourself a goal maybe halfway or, towards the end. Because I know for sure the fact we have this live talk in, under 2 weeks now, not on the 14th of January, at Run Limited in Baker Street, tickets are still out, that will be absolutely working our dogs for the next couple of weeks, and that's going to definitely see us through what could be some very hard weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's nothing wrong with that, I think. No. Knowing the weather's going to be bad, knowing people are back to work and all these sorts of things.
Yeah.
We're privy to that. We're not going to sort of say, well, our baseline's bad. Our baseline can be setting ourselves a goal, whilst it's not this huge, I want to be able to run, ultra marathons or marathons by this day in under 2 hours. Like, that's insane. You shouldn't rely on that, but I think you can very much be privy to the idea that January's difficult. Let me take up something that will improve my new year and improve me and make me feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I don't mean that like a baseline has to be we shall have like a miserable baseline. Like that's
Of course
not at all. No. Like a baseline can still be extremely joyful, and that's the whole point of us finding joy in the everyday.
Of course.
Finding joy in our baseline. It's just more of like more of a grounded, like,
of course,
not a big high, because that's kind of like
always flying to like Bali. For
yeah,
January.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or like you mentioned, some of our friends from Run Club are going on their sabbaticals for 3 months. Like, we don't all have that option in January. So like, 100%. How can we, when we've got to go back to the office on today, or drop the kids off at school and go into work? And then shower.
And then shower, dropping the kids off at school. Is that a New Year's resolution for you, yeah? Dropping the kids off at school.
Yep. But all of those things, when that is our normal, how can we, find that joy?
100%.
And that is why New Year's resolutions come in clutch for a lot of us.
Yeah.
I think it's something that we don't necessarily realize a lot of us are doing, because New Year's resolutions we're socialized. They're just the norm now. Of like, everyone says like at this time, oh, what are your New Year's resolutions? And it's not, we're not all here being like, oh, I'm going to be depressed next month. Let me have a New Year's resolution. That's not an active thought we have.
No.
But there's a reason why algorithms right now on social media are so many. This is how you can lose weight in this many days, or if you start today on March the 2nd, you'll be at this size, or if you're trying to save money for this is how you can save money, and you see like companies know it as well. They're pushing all of their marketing budgets right now for like even things like what are those food meal things?
Weight Watchers.
No, more like the boxes that come to your house.
Like Simmer Eat or something like that.
Yeah, whatever they're called, or Money Box,
HelloFresh,
or Weight Watchers, like you say, or Pure Gym. Like, they all know that this is the time of year that everyone has to have these
everyone's vulnerable to all their marketing campaigns.
Yes, because another thing psychologically is, as well as the enjoyment and the enjoyment and the festivities, another thing that comes with Christmas is indulgence.
Hedonism.
Indulgence of like indulging in eating lots, which I think is a great thing. Eating lots, drinking lots, spending more money than you might typically. So there's also that psychological come down, not only from the stimulation of seeing loads of people and the excitement, but also your own sort of, okay, I've just splurged in inverted commas for a whole month. Now I feel there's some guilt around that as well, that people
like,
hold.
Got to burn it off,
which is why my language immediately is, and I'm speaking into reality. It's great that I've eaten all that food. I'll come on to, but I've got some big running goals this year, and it's great that I've eaten all that fuel, and if my weight has fluctuated a little bit, so be it. Cool, I don't really
extra
need to
muscle.
care. And if I have spent a bit too much money, yes, that is slightly difficult for me personally, speaking to my experience, but I will be able to redeem that. But that is another thing that is a huge why at this time of year. Marketing companies, ourselves internally. Okay, this is my time this year. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna make myself feel better about myself, because right now, I don't think this, just to say before I say it, because it's not a nice way of speaking to yourself, but I feel like a fat pig who's just got no self-control, and I've just spent a whole month of splurging. Therefore, January is my time to prove to myself that I can be resilient, resolved, and disciplined, and get a six-pack and all the things.
How to get abs in 5 minutes.
Yeah. How to lose 2 stone in 2 days.
My Weight Watchers plan, Debbie's going off the roof.
This year you can actually do that if you've got some money to spend every month.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah,
I think it's a very hedonistic month, isn't it? The whole of the Christmas run up, and so people are vulnerable to wanting to, they feel guilty or feel bad. Companies know this, so of course they're going to push all their marketing material on. Hey, give something better this year. Make sure you lean into yourself. Make sure you actually fix yourself, this January.
Yeah.
Why can it not just be, hey, December, you ate a bit more and you spent a bit more, but you bought presents for loved ones, and now you've got an incredible bit of timber to be able to fuel into muscle and running. And thus, you just keep on doing that in January and February. you know?
I fully get it though. Like I can even feel myself now, or seeing myself now, being like, there's it's like the Twixmas period or the whatever it's called, the time between Christmas and New Year, for example, where people were sitting on their phones scrolling, or just feeling a bit like, oh, I've got that book I could read or whatever, like needing a distraction and being like, okay, what can I do for January? You do feel extra that extra sense of motivation to positively do something with your life, like oh, let me start being better at running, or let me get into the gym, or let me eat better, or start keto, or whatever it is. That because of this time of year, that is very much a reality.
I think the key to observe this though, which is quite important, is the motivation to start is absolutely fine. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
everyone's banding together and starting as well. That's the motivation. But if you can be aware and observe the fact that motivation runs out, we spoke about this in our willpower episode with Ben Kelleher. But if you can be very aware and observe, hey, motivation is going to run out, people are going to drop off, and I could easily drop off here. If you're aware to the fact that it's going to be your own discipline that carries you through, I think starting a new year, whilst it does have some, bad things, because typically people who start in the new year will, stop quicker just because that's the nature of it.
Yeah.
Because people are relying on motivation and not discipline. If you want to start in the new year, fine, but make sure that you're aware what's actually going to see this goal through is not sustained motivation. It's going to need to be discipline.
Yeah.
And how to get more discipline, how to increase your discipline or willpower. Again, we spoke about this in our episode with Ben Kelleher. Is small actionable steps that you can take day in and day out. It's not these big things like, okay, on the 10th of January, I'm going to do my first 10K. And then by the end of January, I want to run a sub 20-minute 5K. Like, these are huge goals. Dial it way back. Small steps. And by November of this year, you'll have hit your goals already and you won't even notice it. But it's that small steps that you can take. That's actually, I think, what's the key to it.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about starting in January. It's a good thing. No. Use the motivation that people are banding together with.
I think that's a really good point. And like, it might sound like we're here on this episode being like, oh, New Year's resolutions are bad, they're wishy-washy, they're just a pacifier and things. Like, at no point is that the case. Like, if we want to make ourselves better, why is that a bad thing? Like, that's a good thing. I think we're just coming to this from a place of like, firstly, let's try and just find joy in the everyday so we don't get burnt out in the middle of January and then just be like, oh, that was all wasted. And that's, let's make a more sustainable way of finding joy every day 100%. And being happy with ourselves and loving ourselves every day, so we're not vilifying ourselves at the end of Christmas and being like, oh, I'm a big fat slob, I need to completely 180 my life. Like, I think it's great to have goals and it's great to have New Year's resolutions, brilliant, but like from our stance, it's more of a, okay, well, how can we unpack that, and how can we first understand why we're doing that, but then secondly, how we can make that more sustainable and more achievable and more joyful for us, right?
I've never met anyone who's 180 their life within a month.
No.
Ever. It takes years.
Yeah.
Slow steps to get there.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
No. I thought it was going to be a good point, as you mentioned, to unpack why we do it in the first place. But then also, if we do want to 180 our life, why we can't and shouldn't do it in a month. Because if you want to do it by, as the new year, you won't want it 180 it within a month or 2 months. It takes small steps, which will take a year or two. That's fine. Yeah. Because it's showing up for yourself. But I think understanding why we want to do it, it's part of like, everyone's doing it at the same time. Yeah. It's not a bad thing to sort of jump on that bandwagon, but observe why you're there and how to actually stay on the bandwagon. Yeah, for sure.
And how to stay on is important, because now in preparation for this episode was trying to find the actual stats. There is like an age old stat that everyone quotes and references: BBC, Forbes, Guardian, all of the articles we were reading, but I was trying to find the source of that stat, like the actual data.
Dr. Marcus.
I think it's one of those where they all just, it's become so popular as a stat that the source has got lost. And the one place that I found where they actually referenced the stat, it was a broken link. So I'll continue to try and find it, but I think the sentiment of it is, whether this is the exact accurate number, the sentiment of it is still accurate, and all of these articles are talking to it, is 8%, only 8% of New Year's resolutions are sustained throughout the year and last throughout the year. So
a small percentage,
regardless, are sustained throughout the year. And this is why, again, we're coming to this of like, let's strip it back and let's find ways to make it fun, and let's find ways to like make it more sustainable and joyful.
So how do we be part of the 8%?
Yeah, how we can be part of the 8%.
100%.
Which is really exciting.
I think one more thing to quickly mention as well, before we sort of go on to the how and the reasons of why we should as well. It was actually a pretty good comment that we got on one of our videos. So we've been doing, between Christmas and New Year, we were doing a New Year, same you, same me challenge, where basically you start the New Year already going into, or before the New Year, you start already going into the best version of yourself just to beat the New Year's people. And there was a comment saying, why do you need to change yourself? Surely just be happy with who you are right now. I thought it was a great point. It was obviously so much of what we want to do changing wise is because we might not be happy with the weight we've gained or the money we've spent or how slack we've gotten, for instance. And to sort of combat that unhappiness, we try these huge changes. But so much of the actual change that we're wanting to see through these goals can actually be achieved by just learning to love oneself as well. I think it's important to sort of say that. Like, you don't need these massive goals to run a sub 20-minute 5K or do this or that to actually be the person you want to admire or whatever it is. Again, that can come through small steps that we're going to go on to, but practicing the self-love with who you are now, accepting who you are and just being happy in the moment, so much of what we're speaking about, I think is actually a key to that love that we're wanting to feel from ourselves. You don't need the abs.
That's the major point to all of this, and the nucleus to all of this. There's so many layers to it in terms of like how you set a goal or why we're doing it after Christmas, all those things. Ultimately and fundamentally, from a psychological but just a human perspective, it all comes back to just loving and appreciating yourself, 100%. And actually not just being, indifferent to yourself. And there's a difference between, so you can hate yourself and not like yourself. You can be indifferent to yourself. Most of us are in there either hating or being indifferent. Seldom are we actually loving ourselves and loving who we are. And all of this actually just stems from, we should be just trying to take steps to just actually love who we are and be proud of who we are and genuinely be in love with ourselves. And that feels uncomfortable for people to say, because we're supposed to be modest and we're supposed to not like ourselves, or not like ourselves, but just not love ourselves, humble. But we can love ourselves,
especially in England, and be very, very humble. And
we can be in love with ourselves without being arrogant and without being cocky.
100%.
And that's what it all comes back to. I think these New Year's resolutions, the just not liking the Monday morning, the 5th of January. I mean, on a larger scale, but the nucleus of it is because potentially like we're
feeling bad about ourselves.
Feeling bad about ourselves.
100%.
But yeah, like that's a bigger.
I'm not fit enough, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. It's like, hey, listen, show some patience. You are enough in whatever domain. Sure, you can also at the same time get a bit better in certain things if you want to, but know that in whatever state you are right now, it's enough. And there's a lot of news and marketing going around right now to capture you and tell you that you're not. Disregard that. Look inwards and realize that you are enough in whatever state you're in right now. You are. Love who you are right now. And it means that your goals, whatever goals you want to set for yourself, might also actually be far easier to attain because you're coming in it from a place of self-love and not from a place of battling and self-hatred and challenging oneself as well, which will fizzle out a lot quicker.
Very well said. I think I know what we're doing, our whole mission with the Mood Booster, the overarching mission, as well as being the home of wellbeing and joy, is a mission for ourselves, but for you to join us on loving ourselves really holistically and just finding that in a daily basis. While we're working on that mission, because that's more than just a one episode and done, every episode feeds into that loving ourselves mission. We should acknowledge that and say that, but at the same time, we can work towards goals and we can set these New Year's resolutions.
100%.
And if we're to do so, how can we do so in the best way, in the most joyful, successful way, right?
How do you think?
While acknowledging that, ultimately the bigger picture is that we could just love ourselves, even though we look like a burnt chicken nugget.
A burnt chicken nugget, indeed.
Well, how do we do that? Well, there's a couple of things to talk about.
100%.
One of the major things I always think about from my own lived experience. Again, I'm someone, I won't go into too much of it today, just it is relevant, but just time-wise, and we can talk about another time. But like, I've someone who historically, throughout my sort of teenage and early 20s, has been just like, haven't had the best relationship with food and diet and my weight and all those things. And I was always someone who was like, okay, this is what I need to avoid, this is what I shouldn't be eating, this is what I shouldn't be doing. And actually a real shift has happened in the last couple of years where I wasn't actively doing it, and it's taken me reflecting and being like, what's changed? I have moved away from restricting my life and just adding things and just adding I don't know, just as a really arbitrary example, adding vegetables where I'm hungry and then thinking about the junk food later.
Drinking more water, for instance, or sort of eating less thing.
Yeah, or adding different exercises for it to be enjoyable, going for walks in the morning because I want to clear my head, and then the byproduct is that I'm also exercising, and all of those things. Like adding things to my life as opposed to just focusing on the restriction is a huge thing. And also research shows, a study in 2020 by Oskarsson and colleagues.
Classic.
4 researchers.
Classic guys.
Oskarsson gets the
name,
the spotlight. Martin, his name.
Big up Martin.
They looked at New Year's resolutions. They looked at different variables and the success rate and all of those sorts of things. But they found the most popular resolutions regarded physical health, weight loss, and eating habits. Shocker, surprise to no one. At 1 year follow-up, the most sustained and successful resolutions were ones that were approach-oriented goals as opposed to avoidance-oriented goals. And there was a significant difference in success rate between approach-oriented goals, resolutions, and avoidance-oriented resolutions.
So the ones where you want to add something instead of restrict.
Yes, approach-oriented means you're adding something and bringing something into your life. I want to start doing this more. I'm going to eat more of this. I'm going to do more of this. Avoidance is I'm going to stop eating this. I'm going to stop being so bad at this. I'm going to quit this.
As a byproduct of adding something, you'd also end up stop doing whatever it is that you want to avoid anyway.
Yeah.
As a byproduct. So say, for instance, your goal is to get fit. Instead of, I'm going to stop eating chocolates for this new year, just say I'm going to start walking more, adding something instead. Sure, you might still eat a chocolate here or there, but because you're adding in the walk instead, you're going to be getting more fit, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many psychological
examples,
mechanisms that come beneath it, but it's like, just as a basic example, don't think of the white elephant in the room. Now you're thinking of the white elephant. When you're not allowed something, you want it more. Don't think about the chocolate, you want to think about the chocolate. Whereas if you just you just are neutral to that thing. Let's use the example of chocolate. You're neutral to chocolate. I can have it if I want to. No one's saying I can't have it. I'm not putting this restriction on my life. But I'm also going to try and eat X amount of vegetables in a day or X amount of fruit. Just by adding things into your diet, as a basic example, there's less room for being hungry for or wanting to binge on those sorts of things. At any stage, you're very welcome to have those things. But again, psychologically, because you're allowed it, you fixate on it less, and therefore it's less of a problem for you and less of a huge central thing in your mind. That's just one psychological mechanism as to why this works.
The other day I was doing some research in Instagram Reels when I was scrolling. And there was this
Instagram Reels.
and there was one caption I remember it was describing. It was this thing, it's probably made up to be honest with you, but it's still basically the point you're saying, called like the black coffee phenomenon. So say you're in a busy cafe, you're in a busy coffee shop, and you go up to the barista and you say, hey, I want a drink, and they're like, what do you want to have? You say, oof, I don't know, I'm just really not a fan of black coffee. Can you choose for me, please? I just don't want a black coffee though. You say what you don't want. She's like, okay, yeah, cool. Making your coffee is busy. There's loads of people waiting and queuing. You then go away and the barista calls out, coffee for Marcus. You go up and boom, there's a black coffee there. So, I didn't want a black coffee. The barista had forgotten that you asked for not a black coffee, and in the haste of everything, served up what they could recall or remember about your coffee order. Basically saying that in a lot of busyness in life, in a lot of chaos, we often remember or if we're saying to ourselves what we don't want to happen or what we don't want to have, we often focus on that thing. Instead of saying very specifically, these are my goals, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want. Be very sort of clear and logical, or not logical, but very clear and concise about what you actually want. Instead of focusing so hard on what you don't want, what you want will actually happen a bit more as well. So for instance, with a New Year's goal, saying, I want to, stop eating chocolate, or I want to stop, entertaining this, or I want to stop doing this. You're focusing so much on what you don't want. That will inevitably come back to you. Instead of being very clear and concise, it can be a smaller goal. I want to be able to, start walking every morning for like 5 minutes a day. Very clear and concise about what you want. You'll find that'll actually come a lot quicker to you as well. thought it was a great
Yeah, for sure.
not idiom, analogy for what we're wanting, and a great point to what you're saying as well.
Yeah, it's the focusing on the additives as opposed to what you're adding as opposed to what you're not wanting. Because when you're not wanting something, or when you're saying I don't want this or I can't have this, that it does the exact opposite.
Yeah,
and it's the negative attribution bias. We focus on the negatives or the things that we deem to be negative, as opposed to let's actually focus on all of these good things that we can enrich our lives with. 100%. And then as a what's the word, a byproduct, by us adding all these things, those things that we might not necessarily see as favorably, they fall by the wayside anyway, by us just proactively adding things to our lives in other areas. Which is really helpful.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's if you see your life as a cup, or you see your diet as a cup, or you see whatever as a cup, like when you fill it with these enriching good things that you want to fill it with, there will be overspill, and some of the overspill will be the things that you don't necessarily want.
That's a great point.
Whereas if you're constantly like, oh, I can't have this, all you're doing is taking things away. There's a void there, and your cup's getting emptier, and it's like, okay, well, of course you're still going to want those things, because you're just taking things away from your life, and you're taking things away from what you enjoy. Find things that you enjoy elsewhere, and therefore you won't be focusing so much on what's missing.
Well, let's say someone's listening to this and they're saying, okay, I still want to start doing all these things, start running, start journaling, start listening to more podcasts, whatever it is. There's quite a lot of things. A lot of these people will still not, be in that 8%, because it's just, if there's only 8% of people who carry on, how does someone listening who still wants to add to their life, add these things, whether it's more running, more cycling, more reading, for instance, how do they actually stay in that 8% and carry on their goals?
Well, there's a I wouldn't say phenomenon, but there's the SMART goals phenomenon, for lack of a better word, in this moment. Okay. SMART goals, I think a lot of us have heard of it, and it's now sort of bled into sort of the corporate world, and how we can, in our appraisals, and we can set SMART goals and appraisals and all those sorts of things, but it comes from psychological foundations upon which how we can just set goals for ourselves that are more smart. And breaking that down, we've got it's a what's the word, not an anagram, a thing,
analogy,
no,
idiom.
So I'm asking you.
What's that meant to mean, buddy? My New Year's resolution is to stop saying as many idioms.
What's the? Oh my god! When's like
describe it?
SAS is like or BBM or BBC like
analogy. No, that's an
this is an
anagram.
Brain rot.
An anagram.
This is insane.
An anagram.
Anyway, so
a bananagram.
Each letter is a word.
Hang on. No. We're gonna get this. It's not a metaphor.
This is
obviously
insane. Please, can we just leave it? Because this is gonna...
A simile. No, a pelagram. A penundrum.
Oh god.
It's not a conundrum. It's not a penanagram. What is it? It's an analogy.
No, it's not. Let me just ask Google.
He's actually on Google.
Because I've got a mind blank.
Guys, if you know what it is when letters stand for something like SOS, what does that mean? What is that? If you can get it now before Dr. Marcus, then you're smart.
Everyone knows what it is.
Say what it is. Say it out loud. If you're on the train, say it out loud.
Acronyms.
There we go. If you got that, well done.
Jeez Louise.
If you got that, you'll be part of the 8%.
Anyway,
100%.
It's an acronym.
I
lost all credibility in this moment.
Uh-oh.
Christ. Anyway, so SMART goals. SMART is an acronym for how you can be more successful with achieving what you want to achieve and setting goals that are smart. So S stands for specific. Okay. I'll say all of them and then we'll come back to them.
Yeah.
S is specific. M is measurable. A is achievable or attainable. R is relevant. And T is time specific or time focused. And if whatever goal we have, we should work towards setting it within those letters. So it needs to be specific. There's got to be specificity.
Okay.
we can't just say, I want to be a better runner, or I
No.
want to start running. What does that mean? Like, how does that look? And the thing is, research also shows, which I should have led with, but vagueness to New Year's resolutions is one of the major reasons why they don't last.
Is it?
Yeah, vagueness of like, oh, I'm just gonna get fitter. What does that mean? Like, no, and
Vagueness.
where there's vagueness, there's ambiguity, and where there's ambiguity, we're immobilized. When we have ambiguity with anything, if you think about work, someone says, oh, can you go and do this task, but it's extremely ambiguous, you don't know where to start, you don't know how to do it, you're immobilized, you just don't do it. And it's the same in our own lives. Like, if we have if there's vagueness to what we're trying to do, and ambiguity and less of a concrete understanding of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, we don't even know the steps we need to take, so therefore we're just immobilized and we don't start to begin with.
That's really interesting. Be specific.
Yes, so it's got to be specific.
Okay.
So whatever your goal is, whether it's I want to save more money, or I want to be fitter,
Start journaling,
or I want to lose weight, make it more specific. I want to run a 5k. That is a specific goal. I want to be able to run 5k.
Yeah.
We then get to the other parts. Measurable. Also, so I want to be able to run a 5k. That's also measurable because you've said 5 kilometers. I can measure that. Or if you want to save money, for example, I want to be able to have more savings, which are equivalent to £2,000, for example.
Yeah.
They're specific and measurable. You can measure that.
Okay.
Then you've got achievable and attainable. That's, for me and us, that's a huge one, and it's the biggest crux. Let's move away from these big grandiose goals. Let's make micro ones that are a lot more attainable and achievable. So, okay, it's achievable for me to be able to run a 5k. We'll get to the time frame in a minute, but it's achievable for me at some stage in my life to be able to run a 5k. Okay, so I want to run a 5k. That's specific, measurable, and attainable. Relatable or relevant. It comes from, okay, where's that come from? Well, my overall goal, the vague goal, was to become more fit or to become a runner. So it's relatable and relevant because running a 5k is relevant to becoming fitter, and it's relevant to becoming a runner, running a 5k. Time specific is really important because that's the T. You've got to know within when. You've got to set yourself goalposts. So, okay, I'm just going to run a 5k, what, in 5 years, in 2 years, by the end of the year? You've got to set yourself measurable, not only measurable targets, but measurable time frames.
It's so easy for these goals just to be let go of really quietly.
For accountability as well.
100%. It's even better if you can write it down, for instance. Yeah. Write it down on a bit of paper, have it on your wall, whatever it is.
No, yeah, carry on, sorry.
Yeah, before I was rudely interrupted there. Write it down on your wall, whatever it is. Just make sure that you have post-it notes on your mirror, maybe in the bathroom, whatever it is. Just have it on a piece of paper, make a plan. It's tangible, it's achievable, it's realistic, and you say, right, I want to have a 5k run by March 31st, for instance. I want to be able to run 2k by the end of January.
Exactly.
I want to run 4k by the end of February and 5k by the end of March. You want to set these little goalposts, often and small, so you know exactly where you are. Because if you set one goal, for instance, this year I want to run a half marathon, and leave it at that in your head, so much easier to be let go of. So much easier to forget about, especially when things get busy, when they do, because it's life. Just write it down. Yeah. Have these goals and it'll actually happen.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, that one SMART goal can have goals within it as well.
100%.
SMART goals within it. So, okay, by March I want to run a 5k, or within 3 months I want to run a 5k. That's, to me, and what I think about finding joy in the everyday. SMART goals really and being modest with your goals, and like I say, not these big grandiose things. I think maximum 3 months.
Well, I'm literally thinking now.
Maximum 3 months. And then within that, okay, that's the biggest goal I've got, and that's the biggest SMART goal I've got. Let me set SMART goals within that. Okay, so within, I break them down into weeks. I made a video on this on our account. You break it down into weeks. So, okay, week 1, I'm going to set a SMART goal for this overarching SMART goal. Week 1, I'm going to run, or I'm going to walk 2 times after work for 30 minutes twice this week. You can see there's a walk twice, so measurable and specific. After work, achievable for sure, and within this week, time frame and they're relatable because it's relating to the fitness goal, all of those things. That's a goal within this week. So you can set micro ones within the bigger picture, and it's actually really important to do that, because another thing is so many different psychological mechanisms here. When we have these huge goals that are so far away, it's like seeing every single meal you have to eat for 3 months in front of you all at once. You're
Not
like,
possible.
I couldn't do that. Where can I can't even do that. There's no point. So when you have a goal, it's the same. If you just look to that 3-month goal, how can I stay motivated when it's dark and cold on week 2 morning and all I can see is this 3-month goal? Let me set micro goals for week by week by week, because that's all I can focus on and all I should be focusing on. And very importantly, as we always say at the Mood Booster, mind the small goals and the small daily things and the small joys, and the big goals will look after themselves.
This is a bit of an extreme example, but when we ran the marathon and we're doing training for it last March, I remember distinctly, it was just, when you're in that last 10 kilometers, the absolute pit, looking at it as like, I've got 10 kilometers left, you're bound to fail. Whereas breaking it up into 500-meter segments just makes it so much more achievable. You'll end up finishing it anyway, and the goal will happen. But shifting the mindset from, I've got this big hill to climb, instead of just get through to the 500 and then deal with that consequence when you get there, it makes it so much easier. You end up finishing the marathon, and it ends up being easier than one thought, because you set it into those small goals as well. It's just a mindset shift. It's nothing tangible or anything that you change. It's just a mindset shift of breaking it down into smaller things as well. I was literally thinking, when we were speaking about like New Year's goals and New Year's resolutions, one thing that I want to try and do is be more present, but that's so vague. What does that look like? Be more present in the moment. Be more present in life. What does that look like? So far more, realistic. Using the SMART goals would be, okay, write down 3 things, every morning, whatever it is that I'm grateful for, and that are happening to me right now. For instance, spend 5 minutes in silence a day before I go to bed. Not meditating, but just eyes shut and imagine and like feeling where I am. For instance. Before I was, anyway, briefly moving on, just that sort of thing, just breaking it down to what that actually looks like. I'm sure presence would be found far easier than something far more vague of, I want to be more patient for this year. What does that look like?
Is that your goal, be more present this year?
I think it's one of them, definitely.
Well, it is one of the pillars as well.
It's one of the pillars, and it's something that I've noticed that I've done this last year, which has helped a lot. But I think even going forward, I can be ever more present in each moment. I do still catch myself sometimes in moments, even like recording this or whatever it is, just my mind's for a brief moment somewhere else, thinking about something else, just or thinking and reminiscing, whatever it is, ruminating, not on anything good or bad, just thinking. And whereas if I truly, try and practice presence, I think each moment would be that much more better. And that, I think, as a vague goal, that is something that I want to practice more, but I need to then ask myself, what does that look like? What does this, like, how do you be more present for the year? What does that look like? That's vague. And if I just let that go, that's just going to go away. So I think, breaking into time-sensitive, realistic, achievable, smaller goals, I'll get there.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other goals?
Keep learning Spanish. I've really enjoyed it for this last year. And so I keep on wanting to learn Spanish as well. I don't want to say like be fluent by the end of the year, but I'd say probably a bigger goal is to be conversational in Spanish. So that might look like upping it to 2 lessons a week, possibly. I need to actually go over that, whether that's possible, just with time frame and everything else as well. Those are, small goals, but I say definitely, up the conversational Spanish, be more present. What else? Do you have any?
Yeah, we have been invited and asked to run a 75-mile race in June, and now I'm gonna do it, and we've been invited as the Mood Booster, so we kind of need to do it together. I'm really hoping you do it.
You do,
but I know that I want to do it. I don't know what I'll do if you don't, in terms of, I don't necessarily want to do it by myself. Well, I won't do it by myself because I don't want to do that whole thing by myself.
No pressure at all for me.
So we'll figure that one out. But I'm aiming that I will do it. And 75 miles is a lot of running. And I'm very scared about it.
120 kilometers.
120 kilometers in 24 hours is a whole new beast. Something I've never experienced, and something I will. It's just a whole I'm quite scared about it actually.
Yeah.
So I think for me that is like, that's a tangible thing that has been brought my way, and I want to take on the challenge.
Yeah.
But in taking on the challenge, I need to set more incremental goals to get there.
100%.
So it's not enough. I'm obviously, well, I don't know. I say obviously. I don't know if everyone listening knows, but I'm a runner and I run every day. But that doesn't mean that I'm prepared at all to run 75 miles.
That's insane.
So
I love how we've sort of said, I want to get fitter. I want to start reading books. 120-kilometer race. That's my goal.
yeah, well, I never
It's
lose sight.
insane.
I never lose sight of the fact that 5K is huge.
Of course not. No,
and
it is
I could
huge.
be. That's why the Monday Mood Booster is what it is. I could be, and I am
100%.
I'm a very good runner, and I've run for a long time, and I've got huge achievements from my running. But
100%.
I'll never lose sight of 5K being incredible in itself,
Of course.
and people's first runs being huge. But for me personally, in my running experience, my huge thing right now,
Mm-hmm.
and my scary thing right now, for some it's a 5K. For me, it's running 75 miles, 120 kilometers.
There's levels to this game. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm very
I've not met
scared about
anyone
it.
who's run 120 kilometers.
Um,
I've only met people who run 100.
Yeah, well, June is coming. So to get there, I'm thinking got to be smart about it.
100%.
Pardon the pun. Gonna need to set some specific running goals for training, aka run this distance by. I haven't got there yet. I'm thinking out loud, so bear with me in not being the most smart of smart goals at this very given moment. But run X distance by X date, or be able to have this under the legs by this date, and those sorts of things.
It's so far. That's actually quite nerve-wracking.
Which is really exciting.
How funny, though.
Yeah, it is.
What fun things we go through.
It's funny, nerve-wracking, and yeah, what else?
Anything more tangible, which we can relate to?
More tangible? What do you mean? That is a tangible thing, isn't it?
Anything more relatable, maybe?
Oh, relatable. Okay. Yeah. So again, I've said this literally, I think, last episode. But I'm someone who, through the Mood Booster, but through just my own life as well, I've been working a lot on like my own self-worth and like seeing myself, and not in an individualistic way, but just to see myself, my credibility, my time, and me as a person to be worthwhile, and to love myself, as I said we should all be trying to do. And I hope to, I haven't again broken this down into SMART goals yet, but throughout the year and every day, including today, peek behind the curtain, it's not actually the 5th of January today, it's before New Year's. We're still on New Year's Say Me challenge as we're recording this, but including today, just every single day, find ways to continue reinforcing and endorsing myself, and my worth and my time and my self-respect, because I know in a lot of ways how good I am and what my achievements are and how intelligent and kind and all of the things, and how my time is very important, but I don't live by that every day, and I let that fall by the wayside a lot. So I'm just trying to do that more and continue to do so, but that's more of a holistic, everyday thing. I don't necessarily, personally speaking, want to set that into a New Year's resolution that I start on the 1st of January. I just want to, I have been doing for the last year and will continue to do so. Want to just continue doing that every day.
I think it can very much look like a tangible goal, like something that you can say, every morning I'm going to recite 3 things I like about myself.
Yeah.
It can literally be
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So I haven't relayed that into SMART goals, but that's a perfect example of how I could do that.
That'd be lovely.
Every morning, recite 3 things about myself that I enjoy, or be more boundaried. All of those things, but be more boundaried is also vague. How I could be boundaried, like
what does that look like?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Well, I think we have the perfect structure to go off to be able to create these SMART goals.
We do indeed.
And actually, how to accomplish our 2026 goals.
Yeah. I know. How exciting. What
Full circle.
2025, yes. Difficult year for many reasons, but also we wanted to start at the top of the episode. There were good things that happened. Good things.
There were.
For us, I know we've said in our private conversations, individually, one of our best years of our lives.
100%. Yeah.
So, if not the best.
Unreal.
So, it was a great year, and 2026
to another best year of our lives.
Got a lot of promise ahead.
100%.
Yeah, I turned 30 this year, which is exciting.
Whoa.
I'm super excited about that.
30?
Yeah, I know.
My golly.
Everyone's like, oh, turning 30, I want to stay. I'm like, no, bring it on.
100%.
I'm so excited.
Love that.
Yeah.
100%
Why
you should.
not? I mean,
Yeah.
it's still like 7 months away, but still, I've still got over half a year till I turn 30.
You're just that much more wiser.
But why not? It's exciting. Embrace it.
Love it.
How lucky are we to get older, I'd say.
Completely agree. 100% agree. How lucky are we? We're all lucky to get older.
Yeah.
Wisdom, maturity, experiences.
We should talk about aging in another episode, maybe.
That'd be good. Yeah. You know that a lot.
I do. You don't. Oh my God, some really exciting news. As the psychologist I am, I was at drinks with a friend over the Christmas period, and I don't know if you listeners know, but in the last decade, research has suggested, or the last couple of decades, research has suggested that, or found that the brain doesn't stop developing until we hit the age of 25, the frontal lobe specifically, and the prefrontal cortex, etc. And we thought, oh, okay, that makes sense. So especially in males, their brains keep developing until the age of 25. New research published this year from Cambridge finds that our brains actually don't stop developing until late 20s to 32, the age of 32.
So what you're saying is I've still got more to come. Let's go.
Yes, which is very interesting.
This isn't even my final form.
No.
Unreal.
And our brains actually continue developing. We've got, I think it was 5 phases of brain development, this study found across our lifespan. And our adolescent brain, which is this phase, is from, I can't remember the younger cutoff, but the upper cutoff to this phase was 32. So
Unreal.
32, our brain is still developing, and it goes through like a big solidification around the age of 30 to 32, which is why people find
Solidification of what?
like the
Of who you are.
No, the brain in its form.
Okay,
like,
sorry, yeah.
its development. So those sort of how it is, it sort of sets in itself, for lack of a better word, around that age range. I wasn't planning on.
So what you're saying is,
but I'll put this reference in the study.
So what you're saying is, I have a few years to still choose who I want to be.
Yes.
In terms of personality wise.
Yes.
Unreal. So I can still become Batman.
Exactly.
Or Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Which is why
This
people.
is huge.
we were talking about it because she mentioned, I don't know if anyone's into astrology, but there's a whole like, what's it called, like Saturn return, and when you hit your 30s, there's a huge shift in your life, and like things change, and and people look at astrology. Now, I'm not here to debunk astrology, but she was like, well, actually, thinking about it, if this research is showing like this is a huge time of our brain going through its like
final,
in layman's terms, in its final solidification of its form around the age of 30, it makes sense then that you're feeling all of these sort of affirming, this is who I want to be, this is how I want to be, I'm more set in this way, and this is what I do and don't want, and all of these things around the age of 30. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a little nerd to put on my Instagram story with a whole essay about it.
Let's go.
I was like, I'm really excited by this. Yeah, really cool.
That's really cool. Who are you going to be? What do you want to do here?
Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be... I don't know who I'm going to be.
What?
Mum's... Oh, you're way too young for that reference.
Tonight, Matthew.
It's the Stars in Their Eyes. It's a TV program.
I don't even know what you're
That is
saying.
insane.
Do you know what you're saying?
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm
On
going to
that
move
note-
to Brazil or Mexico and live in a hut. That's my person.
Okay, nice.
Become world surf champion.
There you go.
Best of luck to you.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing.
His brain's still only 25, you can see, can't you?
Oh, unreal. There we go. Right, thanks for joining, everyone.
Yes.
What a nice episode.
Yes.
Hopefully we all go into this new year with purpose, self-love, and action.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Big love to all of you.
Big love. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Makes so much blessings to us.
Yeah, we've got a huge year ahead. And we're excited, very excited, and we're just excited that you're here with us as well.
100%.
So thank you for joining us for 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bloody go.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go. All right,
Okay.
thanks, everyone.
I'll do some ASMR.
I'll turn off the...
So, 2026 is just arrived and we are back to work today. Today we're talking about the New Year's resos and how we do the